Hello again, I am back with another gaming video. Now, the reason I do not do a lot of these lately is because they're pretty crappy. But anyway, today I am going to be reviewing the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, so here we go. Now, of course, the game begins with the infamous phone call from, well, Phone Guy. Now, I'm not really sure what his name is, but oh well. He tells us a little bit what to do with the lights, doors, and all that stuff, and a bit about the animatronics with the backstories of them. There is a lot of great minor details, specifically when you go onto the security cameras, with example, this poster right here saying celebrate with Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica all lined up, and a couple of little cartoonish posters that seem to be drawn by kids. I specifically like the sound design in this game. It's very haunting, and few of the other FNAF games are able to live up to it. But now we'll move on to a bit of my strategy of surviving all 5 nights, which of course is not going to happen due to my skill level, but I'll just try and pretend like I'm going to. So right now it's in the early 90s with the power percentage, and I like to go at least to the late 80s because the animatronics really don't move at all on night 1. So let's see how this turns out. I finally decided to check the cameras when it went down to about 90% in terms of power, and as usual, Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica were all lined up on the stage, as usual, with Foxy still behind the curtain. Now, Foxy, of course, doesn't move until night 2, so we're really not going to have to worry about him right now. Now, someone helped me do the math, and apparently you're only allowed to take up 16% of power each night, or else you're pretty much doomed to fail. Now, when I got down to about 84%, I was already at night 1, so I was in the clear. But if I failed to do this, well, yeah, you're pretty much cooked. Okay, so Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy are still all on the stage by now, but since it is only 1 a.m., I still need to keep tabs on them regularly. Of course, the animatronics are not as active as nights 2 through 5, but still you need to be careful. That is, if you're a noob like me. Now, when I joke about myself being bad at the game, I'm of course not being completely serious, since I do have some experience playing this game on my Nintendo Switch. But of course, I've only gotten up to 5 a.m. on night 2, so we'll see how this turns out playing on my PC. I'd again like to point out the very minor details, as first this Bonnie head is facing sideways, but when I switch back to the camera, it is looking straight at me, and that is the kind of detail that I like to see in these games. It was at 3 a.m. when I finally started to get some I noticed that Bonnie has left the main stage, and that's when things really start to pick up, as he's only 3 rooms away from where I currently am, so I finally actually get to do something. My go-to is to immediately shut the door, as I know that any animatronic could easily just go through it if I'm not careful. Then I just shine the light like a madman until Bonnie eventually goes away, which wasn't until a minute later, which got kind of annoying. Since Freddy and Chica are still on the stage, all I have to do to scare Bonnie off is just keep pressing the lights frantically until he leaves. Chica's the animatronic that scares me the most, because in my opinion, he is the creepiest design out of all of them. If Chica has the creepiest design, then Bonnie has the scariest and one of the best in the entire FNAF franchise. As you may have noticed, I've been spending a lot of time focusing on Night 1, and that's probably because I've really only played Night 1 and Night 2, and because I'm more scared of Night 2 because it's easier for me to get jump scared, and I'm pretty bad at Night 2. So I like to focus on Night 1 here, but I'll go to Night 2 in a little bit. What probably scares me the most about Chica is he can come at you from the right, unlike the other animatronics who like to come at you from the left. So the jump scare is more effective. Another reason why I'm probably scared is because, well, I kind of filmed this at night with all my lights shut off. So, yeah. With Bonnie frickin' bush camping nearby my office, I had no choice but to shut the door for a long period of time, which of course drained my battery. Thankfully, I was able to survive the night without Freddy jump scaring you when your power runs out. Then Night 2 finally came, and I had to be especially careful this time around since the animatronics seemed to roam more on Night 2. And they seem to have more of an awareness that you're actually, like, exist compared to night ones, so, yeah. For the reason that this video looks so poor in quality is because I am recording this in the Chrome browser, so instead of looking like a rectangular shape like when I play it on Steam, instead the gameplay is in a square shape, so I just have to crop it and make do. When the power percentage got down to about 89, I checked on the cameras, and strangely, Chica, Freddy, and Bonnie were still all on the stage, something that doesn't really happen on night 2 when I'm playing on Switch, since they usually start to target you immediately, but I guess I got lucky. But it wasn't long before things finally started to pick up, as I see Bonnie right outside my door, so I start pressing the lights like a madman all over again until he went away, which took over a minute. Bonnie eventually went away, but it wasn't too much longer after that I see Chica on my right door, which got so annoying because, as you guys already know, I am a scaredy cat when it comes to Chica, so I nearly jumped out of my seat when I see him parked right outside my frickin' right door, which is nearly parallel to my office. Chica eventually leaves, but then I see Bonnie on my left. Instead of actually closing the door like a smart person, I decided to check the camera on Foxy, who was starting to leave that area. But then I got jump scared, so yeah.